Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to use Ableton to mix your stuff from real world. I'm just going to show you how to import stems and how to get them to work properly, and then the mixing will be up to you, just like in Logic. I might show you how to just put effects on again, but just yeah, bear with me. So the other video showed you how to program MIDI software instruments. This is to deal with audio, so it's a little bit different. Okay, so the first thing, I've got this folder saying breaks at 95 BPM, which is some drums I recorded there. So what you need to do, you want to import this, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is add a folder. So here you click add, then you go to desktop, and I'm going to select breaks at 95, open it. Right, now you've got breaks at 95, so they're all here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is click top one, so we can see all of them are selected. Then you drag here. Now it's only pulling one track at the moment, so if I hold command, I think it's control on a PC, command on a Mac, and then I drop them, they'll all come in. So they're all going to get just rendered, so you just let that happen. So they're all in here, but they're different lengths. This is because Ableton has this time stretching algorithm called warping, which is like flex time in Logic, same thing. But because people are usually running with samples and stuff, it does things automatically. So we want to globally turn that off. So what you want to do is you just want to click in a area that's free. So by the way, if you want to look at your waveforms in different views, if you go up here and click and drag, it will either make them bigger or smaller. So we need to turn this off. So the first thing you want to do is hit Command A to select all your tracks, or Control A if it's PC. Sorry. So I've selected them all. I'm also going to hit Alt and then hit this down arrow on any track, which is going to just make them smaller so we can see them all. Now you're going to hit, on any track you want, just hit Shift and double click. And then here where it says warp, turn that off. Okay, you see how the tracks moved back. Now what you need to do is just click on each one and make sure all of these are 0 for the start point. So that one's okay, that one's okay, that one's okay. That one's okay, that one's okay, that one's okay, that one's alright, that one's alright, that one's alright, that one's not, so pull that back, that one's not, pull it back, that one's not, pull it back, that one's not, and that one's not. So that should all be good now. Now you can, let's see, spread them out again if you want to see what which ones they are. So let's bring these out. So from what they're called, I can see what's what. So here I've got the binaural head running through a DBX160 compressor. So these two original binaural heads, I don't want them. So if you want to turn tracks off in Ableton, where they've got track 1, 2, 3 and they're yellow, just turn them off. So they're off now. They won't play. And these two I do want in. So if I go back to my main view, I'm going to pan these left and right. You can do that here, of course. You can pan them that way as well. I'm just going to do it here. I'm also, let's see how that sounds. So let's go back to the beginning and let's try it. So now that we've turned the warping off, Ableton's just ascertained that they were recorded at 95 BPM, which is correct. It's gone 95.1, but we'll just move that to 95. That's fine. And then it should play. So you should, if I turn the click on, you should hear it with my stick clicks. Pretty cool. Just turn everything down a little bit here. So I just don't want it peaking on my main output, so I've selected everything, just brought everything down a little bit, which is cool. And then again, if their track's too big, just hit Alt and condense them down. Or you could just bring one down, bring up, if you wanted to. Totally up to you. Cool, alright, so now our stems are in Logic and we can start playing around with them. Obviously, you might have a bigger session with vocals and various other things. But they would just run like it would in Logic. So let's go back to this view. So for example, let's say We just want to listen to these two, so we solo them. Now you'll notice when you try and solo on more than one track, it won't let you. So you just hold down the command key and then it will solo both. So let's set up a loop. Let's go for this section here. So we turn on our loop. Going to move this over and we're just going to run over this part here. So it's just playing these two tracks. This just sounds cool. But if I want to put some effects on them, I could do that. Remember, if you want a bit of reverb or delay, you can just send up the ascends. Or delay. That's pretty cool. Anyway, if you want to put individual effects on, say for example we want to EQ it, you would just click on the first track here. You can obviously rename them. Compressed head left, compressed head right, for example. So on the compressed head left, I want to put in some EQ. So I go to Audio Effects, and in Ableton EQ8 is the one I usually use. Okay, drop it here. There we go. So now I can put on high pass filter if I want. So let's select that. Let's remove all the low end. I want an aggressive high pass filter ×4. So I'm going to move everything below, like, I don't know, about 100 hertz, let's say. Do the same on the other one. So you can just copy this, and on this one, paste it. So you can have the same on both. Remember, you can turn plugins on and off by just pressing the yellow. So now let's play that. Another cool thing with Ableton is if you double click on the EQ, it will give you this frequency analyzer, so you can see what your frequency is doing, which is really cool. You can add that to any track you want. So that's our right channel. That's our left channel. Just double click on it again to get rid of it. Whatever you want, really. This is already compressed, so it doesn't need it. I'm not doing a mixing tutorial per se. I'm just saying how to do stuff on Ableton. Obviously, let's take off the solos now. And then you've got it going into all of the tracks. Incidentally, if you've got these two tracks like this that are left and right and you want to have them running together, you can just select both of them and clip on them and go group tracks. And then now, both these tracks are in a group. So you can just have them on one fader. You can see they're both there, or you can just turn it down. And now I'm in a group, which is kind of cool, if that's what you want. Without the rims. Kind of cool, right? Also, if you wanted to, when you're finishing up, you've obviously got your master fader. It's just like the same in Logic. You can pull in things like the glue compressor, which is good for mastering. Bit too much there. And a limiter if you want to make it loud. Yeah, punchy. Alright, that's how to import stems into Ableton and get them running, and then you can do whatever else you want. Okay, so one last thing just before I go. So automation in Ableton, if you want to see stuff, when you bring any track down, I'll have the red lines here. That's automation in Ableton. So I'm going to just automate my group here. So you go here where it says track volume and you select what you want. So I want track volume, so that's fine, but we could go to panning, whatever we like. Track volume, I just hit one point here and just hit the next point there, and I've got a volume fade. So now you see that fader starts to move down there. Obviously, if we were soloing out this group, that would make more sense. Yeah, so you can automate anything you want, just like you can in Logic. I mean, if you want to get into some more complex automation, I'm sure you can be resourceful and find a cool tutorial online doing that. But it's all relatively straightforward. When you've finished everything and you want to save, this is really important, especially when working with samples. Go to File and you must select Collect All and Save, because if you don't do that, any imported audio, it might not save it. So, okay, so just collect all and save, press OK, make a new folder on your desktop or whatever and save it there. All right? Okay, happy mixing. Cheers.